Hello and welcome back to NewsTeam Boulder. I'm Maddy McManus. It's the first week of spring, which began with some erratic weather. Earlier this week, Boulder residents woke up to intense winds, rustling trees, and rattling nerves for many residents here in Boulder. The National Weather Service recorded wind gusts over 80 miles per hour. The high wind gusts were responsible for thousands of outages throughout the Denver metro area. In Boulder, Xcel Energy crews worked to restore the power, which were mostly fixed in a few hours.
These gusty blows also create dry conditions that prompted red flag warnings for fire danger in Boulder County. NewsTeam reporter Emma Kane explains these impacts the conditions may have on homes.
The city of Boulder was under a red flag fire warning this week, which means that the combination between warm temperatures, low humidity, and strong winds could lead to an increased risk of fires. But what does that mean for students living in student housing? On Monday, the National Weather Service said wind gusts could reach 65 miles per hour in the Boulder area. Student housing located on and near campus could see potential fire threats due to the strong winds we experienced this week. While wildfires have always posed a threat to the Boulder population, an increase in wildland-urban interface can leave students at a higher risk.
And that's just simply due to we're putting more and more people in those fire-prone areas.
To better understand what students can do to prevent fires from starting in their areas, they must first familiarize themselves with the educational resources available.
The first thing would be to make sure that they understand the university's emergency response plans. They can look at Wildfire Ready Boulder, which is our website that has a gajillion resources on anything from fire danger, mitigation, home hardenings, things like that.
As the weather gets warmer, the risk of fire increases, so it is important that all students are taking the necessary precautions to help protect the community. This has been Emma Kane, NewsTeam Boulder.
Measles is spreading in 3 states. As of Tuesday, there are 321 confirmed cases in Texas, Oklahoma, and New Mexico. That's 25 more than what was reported on Friday. Texas has the majority of the cases, and the director of Lubbock Public Health fears this could be a year-long concern. Most of those infected were either unvaccinated or had an unknown vaccination status. Officials say 38 patients were hospitalized, and 1 death has been linked to the outbreak. There's also new data on the rise of cases across the U.S. and the European region in 2024. This data explains why there's growing concern over a resurgence of the disease across the globe. One official with the World Health Organization calls the latest data a wake-up call.
We have been following the situation in 2024, and what we're seeing is that this is the highest number of measles cases that we've had in the last 25 years. We see about 60% of those cases being hospitalized, and 40% of those cases are children under 5 years of age, which means they're the most vulnerable children that we need to protect. So we should be concerned. It seems like the measles have come back with vengeance.
After more than 9 months in space, Commander Suni Williams and Captain Butch Wilmore are home safe and sound. Their SpaceX capsule landed safely off the coast of Florida Tuesday evening. They were brought out on stretchers, which is a common practice as they get used to the gravity again. CNN's Dr. Sanjay Gupta spoke with astronaut Scott Kelly and others about the impact of space on the human body.
It's been 286 days since astronauts Suni Williams and Butch Wilmore have felt the pull of Earth's gravity.
Gravity is really, really tough.
Tough, learning to live with it, but also without it.
Our bodies were really built to work in gravity.
At NASA's Countermeasures Lab, exercise routines and equipment are designed to help prevent astronauts from losing bone and muscle mass while they're in space.
Force is what helps our muscles get stronger. Force is what helps our bones to stay strong. Force is what helps our heart to stay strong by having to pump the blood against gravity. So when you take that force away, you all of a sudden lose a really important stimulus that's important for health. It would be the same thing as if someone was confined to a bed because they had an injury for a long time. People lose their muscle strength, they lose their bone strength.
That's why astronauts spend hours each day exercising while on the space station. In fact, back in 2012, Williams even showed me how she was preparing to do a triathlon from space so that she could compete with me while I was doing a triathlon on Earth.
You're going 17,500 miles an hour.
Yeah, I'll be done like that. What am I saying? I'll be done way before you. So I'll base it on time.
But again, we are talking about an unnatural environment for humans. When you're in space, body fluids shift from the legs to the head and upper body, as much as 2 liters of fluid. NASA says a natural reaction to this is a decrease in the total amount of blood in your blood vessels. That can result in low blood pressure or hypotension. We've even started to see how long-duration flights directly impacts the brain. Look here. You can see that the brain shifts up ever so slightly in the skull, and the fluids surrounding and protecting it expand.
To, have, me being there for such a long time, they can see how that, environmental effects affect us on a genetic level and what that means to our health.
Astronaut Scott Kelly knows this better than most people. He spent 340 days aboard the International Space Station for NASA's twin study. That's where they compared his physical state in space to his twin brother, Mark, back on Earth. They found that space impacted a host of things, like his eyes, his balance, his gut microbes, his cognitive abilities, and even his gene expression. But then,
touchdown.
The body has to adapt again when it is thrust back to Earth.
When you get back, gravity starts pulling everything to your lower extremities. The fluid that is shifting, I got a little puffy face. It's always that way when I'm in space. All that fluid is going to be pulled to my lower extremities, and it's really going to be different. Even to lift a pencil, you don't even feel a pencil when you lift it. When we get back, even to lift a pencil, we will feel the weight.
And it will take time to adjust. In fact, when Kelly landed back on Earth in 2016, he was actually 2 inches taller. But then, as gravity took hold, his height, along with most of the other physical changes, did eventually go back to baseline. It took about 6 months, with the study concluding that human health can be mostly sustained for a year in space. Kelly did, however, find some benefits.
When I got back on my previous flight, I was getting a massage at one of these massage envy places. And the lady goes, you have the softest feet I've ever felt in my life. And she did not know I was in space. And I was like, thank you. I'm very proud of them.
Dr. Sanjay Gupta, CNN, reporting.
Avian flu continues to impact egg prices, and it could also affect the health of our pets. Stay tuned.
A goose at Tinmouth Reservoir in Fort Collins was found dead early this month and tested positive for bird flu by Colorado Parks and Wildlife. With Colorado's robust population of geese, NewsTeam's Jordan Cummings is at Fair and Field to tell us what impact bird flu might have on us.
With the recent avian flu outbreak, also known as H5N1, and the recent death of a goose at Tinmouth Reservoir, which is just east of Fort Collins, you can see here that we have a lot of geese on campus, and so it might be a concern to students. So we're going to find out more about what is bird flu, how is it contracted, and what can we do to keep our pets safe.
Bird flu, in this specific case, there's a lot of flus that are in birds. So just to be a little clear, we're specifically talking about H5N1.
This is a highly pathogenic strain of influenza that is transmitted through birds and especially migratory birds.
H5N1 has been in the U.S. It's been in the U.S. multiple times over the last sort of 30 years. But over the last few years, we have been experiencing the biggest outbreak of H5N1 that we've ever experienced.
Given that it's mainly transmitted by migratory birds, it's scary that avian flu can be anywhere and can infect local bird populations. So, if you see geese around, they may be infected, and it is wise not to interact with them, especially ones that look sick or dying. Avoiding feces is crucial for the safety of you and your pets.
Some tips from the Colorado Public Health Department are if your pets do need to go outdoors, make sure to keep them away from wild birds, poultry, and cattle. Also make sure that they don't ingest or eat any dead birds or animals. Also make sure that they don't eat raw meat or poultry or unpasteurized milk. I'm Jordan Cummings with NewsTeam Boulder. Back to you.
Avian flu also continues to impact egg prices in Colorado. Most eggs you see at the grocery store are grade A or AA, but due to the egg shortages, grade B eggs are hitting the shelves. Grade B eggs can have thinner whites, flatter yolks, and stained, bumpy shells, but offer the same nutritional value as grade A eggs.
A product from Whole Foods has been recalled due to undeclared ingredients. Boxes of 365 Whole Foods Market Small Bites macaroni and cheese have been voluntarily recalled because it may contain eggs and meat. So far, no one has reported getting sick from the product, but people with life-threatening allergies to eggs and meat could be at risk if they consume any of the affected mac and cheese bites that were sold in February and March at Whole Foods Market stores nationwide. Customers are urged to throw the product away and visit Whole Foods for a refund. Hey there, Boulder. Let's take a look at the weather forecast as we get ready for spring break. We're going to be starting off with temperatures in the high 50s and 60s during the day, with lows of 30s and 40s at night. Here's some more detailed forecast for the upcoming week. Saturday, get ready for a high of 61 degrees, but also some 23-mile-an-hour winds. Sunday, high of 63, low of 47. But as we jump into the next week, trends are going to continue to be on the uptick. Tuesday, highs are going to be near 70, and on Wednesday, we're going to have highs of 81 degrees with a low of 50 at night. It's shaping up to be a warm, sunny week ahead, perfect for getting outside as we kick off spring break.
Coming back from the break, an iconic florist in Boulder sells more than just flowers.
Coming up after spring break, the Conference of World Affairs returns to CU. We're expecting more than 50 speakers to talk about today's challenging issues. The CWA takes place April 8th to 10th. For more information, check out the website colorado.edu/CWA.
Big changes are in bloom for a beloved Boulder business. Sturts & Copeland, a local floral institution for nearly a century, has a new home and fresh experiences to offer. From expert plant advice to hands-on workshops, the shop is continuing its legacy in a whole new way. NewsTeam reporter Kalejanae Curry takes us inside the transformation.
For nearly a century, Sturts & Copeland has been a cherished part of the Boulder community, bringing vibrant blooms and expert plant advice to the community. But this local staple has entered a new chapter, one that is filled with fresh beginnings and exciting changes. Since 1929, Sturts & Copeland has been Boulder's top spot for fresh flowers and plant advice. In 2022, longtime owner Carl Riggs handed it over to Sarah Smits, a florist from Cresses Butte.
The kind of workshops that I do attracts ladies and gentlemen who want to create their own wonderful wreaths. We provide anything that they want in the shop. They can put it on a wreath. I say if it doesn't walk, I can attach it to a wreath.
With new leadership came new beginnings. Sturts & Copeland's made a big move to 3550 Arapahoe Avenue, settling into a fresh space while keeping its deep-rooted traditions alive. Sturts & Copeland's now offers more than just flowers, with hands-on workshops that let the community get creative and grow their plant skills.
I will say that weddings and events and creating someone's bridal bouquet that's going to be in pictures with them forever is probably my favorite part.
Sturts & Copeland's new space offers more than just flowers. It's a place for hands-on workshops and plant care lessons. A new space with the same Boulder charm. I'm Kalejanae Curry reporting for NewsTeam Boulder.
That's all we have for this week's edition of NewsTeam Boulder. Be sure to watch our latest shows starting Fridays on YouTube at 4 p.m. I'm Maddy McManus.
And I'm Maggie O'Kane. Have a fantastic spring break, buffs.